What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GoodeBaker podcast. I'm Nick Baker, and across from me, Shane Good.
What's up?
And we are here to talk to you about some video games. First things first, of course, we're going to let you know what we've been playing. But first things first, before that, make sure you go over to our YouTube channel. You subscribe, like, comment on anything that you want to comment on. There's usually a lot of things that we're talking about that we don't know much about, so let us know if we get something wrong or, you just want to talk to us because it's pretty lonely over here. But also, go to our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and the like, and make sure you follow us for any upcoming news and topics that we might be discussing in this week's podcast. Without further ado, though, what have you been playing this week, man?
So, I jumped back into a game that I decided I would never jump back into about 6 months ago. Maybe 7 months ago at this point. But I'll leave that for the end. I was just the little teaser of my life.
Nice.
So I've been playing Conqueror's Blade, which is actually, it's really fun. That's that kind of like top down, like 3D, like third person, you control an army while you're raiding, or like either field battles or siege battles, or like there's a bunch of different types of battles. I got a little further into it, and we started doing 15 versus 15 battles. So it's 15 like players
Which have armies.
All have armies.
That's nuts.
There's like on average you see like maybe 1,500 to 2,000 troops go down. Dude, when it all loads in and it's panning over that battle scene and it's literally just like literally like 700 like just troops everywhere, and you load in and everybody just rushes to that first point and it's just all out like war. Oh my gosh, it's actually really fun.
That's awesome. It sounds great.
Yeah, it's a really cool game. And obviously I never stop playing League of Legends. I just tell myself I'm going to stop playing League of Legends. So I've been playing League. And then I've been playing TFT, which is the thing that I said that I'd never go back to because the game can be very frustrating sometimes. But so do you know what TFT is? I can't remember.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know.
Teamfight Tactics.
Teamfight Tactics.
Yeah. So went back to Teamfight Tactics. Actually kind of having quite a bit of fun with this set. There's a lot of like League champions in there that I didn't know were in there that are a lot of fun to use and to kind of like create crazy teams with. There's some builds that like I've been going that I haven't seen anybody go yet, and I've been pretty successful with them. So like that's really cool. It's really fun to like actually be able to kind of make your own composition and have it work. Versus just always following whatever the meta composition is and stuff like that. I always find it more fun to figure out what can counter the meta composition, because then I can find like I don't win a lot. Like my win rating is like 1 out of 10. However, my like top 10 is like 80%. Or not top 10, sorry, top 4. Top 4 gives you LP.
Right, so you're always challenging the norm, which is
right.
I mean, that's kind of the way to go. I hate dipping into the meta too much, and we'll get into that when I talk about what I'm playing. But, I like kind of breaking the norm a little bit.
Yeah, and for those of you who want to play Teamfight Tactics but don't have a computer, you play on your phone. And it's not playing against computer players because that's slightly unfair.
Like Fortnite? Dear God.
You could tell when it was a mobile player. You could just tell the way they turned, the way they looked around, the way they no-scoped you from 206 meters away because they have like auto aim.
Yeah, oh no.
Anyways,
damn. But yeah.
Yes. What have you been playing, man?
I've been playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima. Getting pretty deep into that game. It's stunning. Still, I'm finding more and more to love about that game each time I pick it up.
Very nice.
But what I've been playing, other than that, and kind of the main theme of what I've been playing is Warzone.
Yeah.
We've got 2 wins this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I do know you guys have been playing a lot.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot, and we've gotten some decent wins. I got a 15 kill win and a
Nice.
13 kill win.
Just a natural ninja right here.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun playing this weekend, especially just winning always makes the game more fun. But even like the subsequent games after that, we're getting consistent top 10s, and in
Nice.
quads it's really tough because there are a lot of good players that play in quads and trios especially. But yeah, I've been having a blast with that, and like I was saying with challenging the meta, it's very plain to see each season when a new update comes out what the meta is and what guns the best players are using, and those are the ones that you're going to find most of the time. Like this time around, it was the Bruin. The Bruin has been everywhere. Anybody that can unlock the Bruin has, and it just takes guys down so quickly at distance. It's a perfect replacement for a traditional AR. And you can also have another AR as a secondary if you really choose that path. But man, I've been soaked by that thing so many times. It's so frustrating. But I tend to go in like the M13 or like the Kilo direction, where those two guns were meta at one point, but they've kind of fallen out of it with a few of the updates that kind of changed a little bit of how they played. But I still enjoy using those weapons and having like an MP7 or MP5 as a secondary. I think that's kind of the staple at this point, unless they make some sort of changes to the Bison or something like that. Because the Bison has admittedly a large clip, but it's not very steady and not very accurate at any sort of range, and the hipfire is not nearly as good as the MP7 or MP5.
Dude, that MP7 was... I love that gun.
Oh, it's so dirty, man. It's still one of the top tier secondaries in the game, and I don't see it going anywhere, honestly, because it's such a staple of that mode now, where you're picking up gray and green ones off the ground to begin with, and now they have the Harpy, which is just the blue version of it with a sight on it, but it works so well in the early game.
Yeah.
That I think a lot of people have really kind of settled into the MP7 now as just that gun that everybody tries to use, and the hipfire is fantastic. So
it's like taking a shotgun in Fortnite. Everybody just picks one up.
Literally, it's like that's the immediate weapon that you need to have. And maybe not everybody, because a lot of people play the game differently, but it's definitely a meta.
Yeah.
Snipers less and less I see. Not a lot of snipers out there anymore, but I do get popped every now and again.
Kind of surprised, man. Snipers are...
I mean, I'm surprised too, because the map is so large, and maybe we'll see more of it when the map changes in Season 5, but...
it's possible.
Yeah, can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome. That's this week. I finished my Battle Pass, so I'm pretty much just riding it out until that season drops. But...
Nice.
On to bigger and better things. Our big topics of the week starts off with Halo Infinite multiplayer is going to be free to play.
Dude.
So.
That's pretty cool.
What does this mean in general? Like, what the thing that I thought of immediately was like, well, Halo Infinite's already going to be on Game Pass, so it's kind of free already. The whole thing.
Right.
So, what does this mean that it's just kind of outside of Xbox Live, it's going to be completely free, or are you still going to have to pay Xbox Live? What they said is that it's going to be completely free no matter what. So
interesting. So I mean, I guess that's kind of cool for people like me who don't have Game Pass, but I do have an Xbox. Like, I could just,
Well, I mean, you can play PC. I think it's day and date, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so I guess I probably would end up playing the Halo multiplayer, because I have a lot of friends that play Halo, and I just am cheap as hell and haven't purchased the game, so I don't play it. But that would be... Oh, boy.
Wow. There's like an earthquake going on here. But
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that's really interesting. A big step forward, I think, for the Halo franchise in the same direction that Call of Duty is going with the free-to-play Warzone mode. It kind of gets everybody's foot in the door. Everybody learns the mechanics of that game. And I think that the sales of Modern Warfare have gone through the roof just since the the dawning of Warzone, just because it's such a juxtaposition of, oh, I play Warzone, but I don't really want to play like the full Warzone map by myself, so I'll go to like a little bit of free to play on the main game, and I hear a lot of people do that, so that is interesting. But on to our next topic. Grounded got released this week.
It did.
Full release,
and
a lot of people were really loving it. It had 255,000 plus viewers in its first day on Twitch.
Yeah, man, it went off.
Yeah, so it's crazy right now for Grounded and Obsidian, which looking at this game initially, it was that of like, you know, it has something. It has something that not everything else has. It has like a cool niche where it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Really cartoony in that way. I hear it's really, really funny. I haven't played much of it, or I haven't played any of it myself. I've seen people play it, and I haven't really seen any of the story content, but I hear that stuff is really, really good.
Yeah.
So the comparison that I've been hearing, begrudgingly, I think, is it's like Fallout 76 and Outer Worlds had a baby.
Yeah.
But only the good versions of each of those games. So
the successful sides of both of those.
I was constantly wondering what this game was actually going to be outside of just like a survival-esque game, but it seems like it has a full world that has landmarks and things that you can go and loot and find, like a Fallout world would have. So I guess I came at this game all wrong. I've thought that it was just going to be kind of a side project that Obsidian was doing, but now it really has hit its stride, and it looks like a game that a lot of people are really going to enjoy for a while, and that if Obsidian keeps supporting it, could be something great in the future too.
Yeah, and from what I understand, because I have a couple friends that are playing it right now, all of them are loving this game. Everybody that I've talked to loves this game. They all like... everybody is like, oh yeah, the Honey I Shrunk the Kids game. Yeah, let's play that. Literally, that's how it gets talked about in Discord.
It's such a perfect moniker to put on the game because everybody knows that movie. It's so nostalgic, and it's that frame of mind going into this game. You're gonna have so much more enjoyment out of it because you're just like, oh man, this is crazy. We're in a backyard. There's a baseball over here. It's like the size of a skyscraper.
It's
nuts.
Yeah, it's super cool. One thing I will say is that a lot of my friends seem to say that it doesn't have a ton of content right now. Like it is fun and it is playable, but the content that you have to do is much like a survival game early beta. Even though the game's full release, it's kind of... They say that it feels like it's missing a lot of content as far as, like, things that you can do besides the, like, build a base.
Right.
Hang out with your friends. Go gather resources. Like, and those are all things that you need in those types of games, but you want a complex end game. You know what I mean? You really want, like...
something to keep people in there.
And, right.
You know, thirsty.
Pretty much. I could definitely see them allowing mod support and stuff like that, especially where it's on Steam. The files are really easy. Like, Steam makes modding games really easy as long as the developer allows it. I could see if they allowed people to do in-depth mods and really allowed people to do a lot of changes in, like, the game itself. Like, 7 Days to Die does, like... I mean, there's a number of games, but like
Ark,
Forest,
Survival,
Ark,
yeah.
Like if they allowed that, then this game definitely could be like a crazy game that ends up taking over kind of like the survival scene for a good period of time for sure.
Yeah, I think that it has a great aesthetic, has a great developer behind it in Obsidian with a great sense of humor. So I think that if they kind of combine all of those things and just pump out more content for it and do some interesting things with the actual world that they built, I think it can be really big, like you said. But the other thing I wanted to mention, I was just thinking about this because you said 7 Days to Die. I think this game would be a big hit with gamers like Deborah that are super into that game, but maybe want like something a little bit different. They can kind of twist over to this, and having that like super serious 7 Days to Die, you're getting chased around by zombies and dying every now and again, to now being chased by like giant ants and spiders and weird things that you wouldn't necessarily be chased around by in like a standard boots on the ground kind of grounded game.
Grounded. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying for sure.
Yeah, I didn't even say wow.
And I don't think it's that expensive either. I think it was like $40. It's not like a $60, and people are now saying that console games might even be $70. Like,
yeah,
that's just the one thing that's really cool about it.
The weirdest thing about the whole $70 jump is not only grounded, but EA announced that Squadrons, the new Star Wars game they're coming out with, is going to also be $40.
Really?
So it's like games are almost going backwards in price at the end of this generation, which is interesting to me. So we'll have to see what the prices of games actually do, whether or not it's up to developers and publishers to put out a game at like $70 or $80 and whatever content that includes, I guess.
Oh wow, I lied. It's actually at $30.
Damn, that's a deal. Get on that, Xbox gamers, because that's ridiculous. I hear this game is going wild, and
yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. I will say though, that's a very average PC price.
Yeah.
Like when games release on computer, they're either $20 or they're $40. Like they're between that $20, $40 mark. If a game comes out on computer and it's $60, it has to be the AAA title that everybody has been waiting for. Like Borderlands 3. Like we all paid $60 for Borderlands 3.
Or when Diablo comes out.
I will pay my fucking kidney when Diablo comes out.
Yeah, I really think Diablo 4 is going to be nuts.
I do too.
They have to really take it up a notch, I think.
I think, honestly, when I look at what they talk about and what I think Diablo 4 will be, I think it will actually end up being something kind of like Albion Online. I think that's kind of the way that they'll go, more towards World of Warcraft, with dungeons that you're allowed to go into, but the main kind of premise of the game with the open world will be more focused on the idea of like creating a place in the world where your group of Diablo players live.
No.
I think that'll be more of like kind of how the game works, but a lot of time before that because they probably aren't going to fucking release that game for another 10 years.
Yeah, it is pretty sad that the last news we heard of that was like sometime last year, and it was that we're working on it.
No, we did get that trailer last year.
What was that? Was that Diablo or was that Baldur's Gate?
No, that was Diablo 4. The trailer basically centered around Lilith.
Oh yeah. I do remember that. Yep. That was CG though. I mean, like.
Oh no, that's not what the game's gonna look like at all.
Yeah, I mean, if it did look like, holy guacamole, dude.
I mean, it was still a cool CG trailer. It was basically a fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I'd watch that movie.
Hell yeah.
So anyway, moving on to kind of a little bit different. We've done this a few times where we talk about video games and movies. So I just threw this in here because I thought it was interesting. There wasn't a ton this week, so Splinter Cell and Beyond Good and Evil are both getting Netflix adaptations. Beyond Good and Evil is getting a movie, and Splinter Cell is getting a whole series. Beyond Good and Evil is going to be directed by the Detective Pikachu director, Rob Letterman.
Interesting.
And is in early production. I think they're still looking for writers or something, they said on IGN. And as for Splinter Cell, the John Wick writer, Derek Kolstad, is going to be writing and producing that one. So that really seems interesting to me. It's also going to be animated.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
So Netflix making some weird moves, but I like that. I like that Splinter Cell is back in any form because Splinter Cell was so cool on the Xbox. And Beyond Good and Evil, we haven't heard anything about the sequel to that game since Ubisoft, like 2017 or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Their last actual press conference, or maybe, no, the one before their last one.
I wonder if they're trying to like maybe like low key fund the game.
It could be because there was some concepts that came out of what they're kind of working on as far as character designs and stuff, but nothing really substantial, and everybody's really, really quiet about that game. And from what they showed before I think they showed like a tech demo before that, it's really ambitious.
Is it?
Yeah, it's gonna be. I could see it coming out at maybe mid to end of the next generation of consoles.
Holy shit!
With as how ambitious as I think this game is going to be, and even being announced as long as like 3 or 4 years ago.
That's nuts. That's like GTA 6 nuts.
Yeah, so it has a lot of the same like, waffings as Cyberpunk 2077 has, where they're like almost too ambitious for their own own product, where it's like, or keep pushing it back, but at some point you have to just say, all right, it's good, release it.
Yeah.
So hopefully Beyond Good and Evil 2 actually gets out, but the Netflix movie should hold you over. And Detective Pikachu was pretty good, so I trust that director to see it through.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. It's kind of we live in an interesting time where like right when you just about forget about something, almost always a little piece of content drops for it, and it gets people just excited enough, and it either makes or breaks it. It either pushes it past the point where that's what it is, or it pushes it to the point where it's like, all right, clearly there isn't enough force behind this, we're gonna have to cancel this game, or like we're gonna have to change some stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really cool that you can kind of see how things are progressing just by like the way that the companies themselves deal with the marketing of the games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Unless you're Diablo 4, in which case you don't market the game, you just put out one trailer every year. But anyways,
and just keep those fans wanting to hunt you down and kill you.
Pretty much.
But yeah, I think honestly for that aspect of it, like things just coming back out of the blue, I think a lot of it has to do with the algorithms that run through social media now, where it's like somebody will mention, hey, you remember that thing, and then it just blows up. It's like, I imagine that's exactly what happened with the Sonic movie. Yep. It was like, yeah, man, Sonic Mania came out, that was really good. And the movie people were just like, let's fucking do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where's Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds.
He's working on Detective Pikachu. He can't be in this one. So yeah, that's really interesting. I like what Netflix is doing. They have a lot of really solid original stuff on there. I've been watching a bunch of stuff on there. So
man.
One last thing before we move on. Beyond Good and Evil, I guess, is supposed to be part CG and part live action.
Interesting. So Ryan Reynolds will be in it?
Yeah, so Ryan Reynolds will probably be in it.
Okay, just checking.
All right. Anyway, now on to our biggest and best topic of the show. Avengers War-Table was or the second Avengers War-Table was shown on Thursday.
Yeah.
I think Thursday or Friday. And they announced all kinds of details, including beta details, a ton of content that you're going to be doing in there. They announced that Hawkeye is going to be the first post-launch hero, which is really cool. He looks completely different than the movie version of Hawkeye, which I really like, because I like having that separation. I don't like when they get too close. Like Black Widow looks practically like Scarlett Johansson in the game.
Yeah, 100%.
So I like when they have their own like visuals for what the heroes are going to look like. So, and he looks like fucking Cole McGrath from Infamous. Dude, love that shit.
Speaking really quick of just like their own visuals.
Yeah.
The Hulk in the mafia suit.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah, that's really great. I can't wait to see what they have for like all the different ones. Like Thor, I know he has like his little name tag or whatever.
Yeah.
Shirt, but I can't wait to see what they have for all the different characters for like funny costumes. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
But so the beta is going to entail a bunch of harm rooms, which are these kind of training areas where you can fight waves and waves of enemies with just single player or multiplayer, your choice. The story portions that they're going to be including in the beta are also co-op or non-co-op, and if you choose to do them single player, you can choose to have your characters that you've leveled put into your experience so that you have your Iron Man and your Miss Marvel flying around. And I don't know whether or not they said that they'll be leveling along with you.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty crazy. And I think that'd be...
might be a little broken.
Yeah, a little broken. But
they did say that it would be the characters that you would level, and that the war rooms were a great way to level your characters.
Yeah.
But that seems a little broken.
Yeah.
Or maybe they get like Pokemon Share XP, where it's like less.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Just a little bit. Like
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. But yeah, so the beta is shaping up really, really nicely. I think it's going to be a really good taste for everybody on this game. It does come to everybody at the end of August, but PS4 pre-orders are going to be having it first on the 7th. Xbox and PC pre-orders are on the 14th, and then everybody that hasn't pre-ordered will get it on the 21st. So
wow.
So if you're into that, that's when you can actually play that game, and if you're really into that, you can pre-order and get in there even sooner. Let's see. I think that's pretty much everything we have as far as Avengers go. What did you think of like the actual showcase of it all? Because I in my opinion, I think it's the best the game's really looked, even though there are like a few hitches in some animations, and you know, I think it's just something to expect. Like I was saying before we started, each hero is gonna control so dramatically different that I think that at some point or another, some seams are going to come unsewn. You know?
I liked the showcase. I thought the showcase was really cool. One thing I wish that they would do, because we have the technology, we can do it at this point. I wish that when something went crazily wrong, like for instance, you always see like in Skyrim, like you'll just randomly see a horse fly across the world.
Yeah.
Like, I wish that when they started, like, when things like that happened, there was a debug sequence that would detect an enemy going past the specific Y and X level, and it would just do something crazily funny.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Hulk rams through a dude, and all the guys kind of like fly back a little bit. I can just see one of the dudes like flying halfway across the world, and I just want the noise.
Yeah.
Like I just want the guy, like you know what I mean?
Just like that small little bit to elevate that humor factor.
Because that's like, it turns that I don't know if you do a bunch of form reading, but there's a joke in like the development community a lot of times where it's a dude that says, "That's not a bug, bitch, that's a feature." Like that would turn that little thing into a feature instead of a bug.
Right, yeah, it would be really, really funny. Just to like, yeah, like you said, have a guy fly off, and it's like Team Rocket blasting off again, and there's like a little twinkle in the
yeah,
sky.
Like
yeah,
you know what I mean? Great. It would be really funny.
But that is everything we have for you this week. If you liked us, go over to your YouTube channel, subscribe, like, comment on anything that you heard in this week's show.
Or last week.
Or last week's, or, you know, the first one. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself.
I don't want to watch the first one again.
Head over to our social media platforms and make sure you follow us for any future content that we're going to be posting. Unfortunately, the spoiler casts that we had planned are kind of falling through. You know, how COVID and whatnot. I'll blame it on that.
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah, COVID. You perfect excuse, you. But you know what? We love you, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.